Very warm welcome to This is the Business Hour podcast. My name is Mbogoh, and remember, as always, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, click the bell icon to make sure that you get notified every time we have a new episode going on. And today's show will be focusing on insurance and what does this have, the insurance players, what do they have in store for SMEs, for entrepreneurs, and for startups. And to help us get into that, we'll be joined by none other, Humphrey Ndaiga, who's the manager for corporate business sales at Sanlam Insurance. But before we get into that conversation, let's take a look at our quote of the day. And our quote for today says, "Play by the rules, but be ferocious." That is by none other than Phil Knight. All right, with all that being said, Humphrey, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, we are glad that you could find time to join us. And so one of the things that we really want to understand in the first place is, what does Sanlam have in store in terms of products for SMEs and for entrepreneurs and startups?
Great, that's a very interesting question because just recently we have decided to focus on SMEs. And that is demonstrated by the fact that we have actually come up with an SME insurance. Okay. It's called SME insurance. So that is specifically tailor-made for SMEs. Of course, it will vary from company to company depending on what each does. So there are some that the different sectors require different coverages. So this product is it can be tailor-made to fit into the kind of business that you're doing. For example, if an SME is involved in transportation, they'll have goods that they're carrying from one place to another. So they require something called a goods in transit cover. So what this SME package does, it has a variety. It has about 13 sections where you can pick from, so to cater for all those requirements. So if you have goods, then you require goods in transit. If you have your manufacturing and you have stocks, also they'll be taken care of. So we have a specific and a special product called SME insurance, which we have just launched actually recently, and we believe it will go a long way in giving the SMEs an opportunity to get insurance at affordable price.
All right, and I'm actually glad to hear that there's already something out there in the market. So maybe you can take us through the thought process. What informed this decision to have an SME cover or an SME insurance?
This has been informed by the fact that SME is a growth area. So as insurance companies and investors, we are looking at areas that we can grow. So they're SMEs and they keep growing year on year. So we want to grow, and we know SME is a growth area, so we decided to tap into that space. The next thing is that it's a sticky business. Unlike the big corporates that have very big bargaining power, they can decide they want to go here and there. SMEs really just want good insurance. So we believe it's a sticky business. So we feel there's opportunity. It's a growth area. There's a lot of focus also, just not just locally, even from banks, from other investors to invest in SMEs. So we believe we want to grow with them. We want to start with them, grow with them, and then, of course, we all benefit.
All right, and I'm sure we know these are different categories of SMEs depending on their turnover. So this cover specifically, do we have like minimum requirements?
Yes, we do. In our case, good point, because different organizations and companies describe SMEs differently. So for us, an SME is a business whose assets do not exceed 500 million Kenya shillings. So anything below there, we categorize as an SME. Yes.
All right, let's talk about the uptake so far. You're saying that the product is new into the market, and looking at the market, I think this is the first SME product that I actually have heard of. And I know there could be probably many other out there. So when you're looking at the kind of solutions that you're offering with this cover, why should an SME come to you?
Yes, there could be other covers there that are meant for SMEs, but ours is an SME insurance specifically for SMEs. So because I know you could have combined policies in other companies. So why they should come for this SME is one, it is affordable. So we have packaged in such a way that it will be an affordable package. We only have a premium at the end of all the sections. So we do not charge premium per each section that you take. We just give you one premium. So it's one policy. We give you one policy document. It's very convenient. You don't have to have many different a document for fire, a document for burglary. Like you can have 10 documents. We just give you one document that gives you coverage for everything that you have. And of course, we have dedicated resources to just attend to the needs of the SME.
Is it a comprehensive cover, or because again you've mentioned different risks that such as fire, burglary, and the like. So is this more of a comprehensive cover for SMEs?
Yes, it is actually a package.
Okay.
So it has all those classes that we know. We know the traditional fire, burglary, all risks, computers, public liability. Could have money cover, fidelity guarantee, WIBA, which is actually a requirement. We have machinery breakdown. All those we have combined into one. So it gives you a very wide coverage all in one.
All right. Again, Humphrey, when you look at SMEs within the Kenyan space, a majority of them, given what has been happening over the last 2 years, the pandemic and whatnot, have been struggling financially.
Yes.
How are the premiums? How are the premiums in terms of how much they're likely to pay for these packages?
So it's true. It's been a difficult time, and we have tried as much as possible to have a simple product to look at the needs. So the premium will depend on the kind of business that the SME is doing. There are some that are exposed to high risk. For example, a manufacturing that uses hazardous chemicals, the premium will be higher than an office risk. An SME that is just an office business will just have a low premium as 10,000 shillings per year. So depending on also the number of employees, because you have to cover employees, depending on how many you have few, it will be it can fall under the minimum of 10,000. But if there are more, then of course the premium will go up. So really the premium depends on the how big an SME is and the kind of business that they are engaged in.
And what has been the market feedback? How is the uptake so far?
It is not as good as we would want it to be. For example, we say the penetration of insurance in Kenya is about 2.3%. It has been for a long time. The highest I think it has gone, it's almost to 3%. So that means that insurance is not given the attention that it deserves. I think we only insure mostly when we have to, especially motor vehicles, because it's a requirement. For properties, maybe the banks require you to insure. But where it's optional, like for SMEs, the uptake isn't that good, but there's potential, and so far the response is good. So what we are trying to do now is to make this, to bring in the awareness, to also work with the agents and brokers and everybody else in the sector to just pass this message across that actually you need to insure, especially where you have employees. And of course, most of the SMEs will have employees. As long as you have an employee, then you are required to take a WIBA policy. It is part of the SME package.
One of the things that I would want to understand as an SME owner is when is the best time to take up these solutions? When is the best time to sign up?
Wow, the best time to sign up is right now. Why that is so is because we do not know when something will go wrong. An incident will happen, for example, an injury will happen, or a fire will happen, a theft will happen. So the best time is now. Yes, because anything can happen between now and the time you thought would maybe you'd have the money or you'd be ready for it. So I would encourage that you take as soon as you are aware that you require the insurance.
All right, and just before we go into our next part of this conversation, I want to remind our viewers and our listeners that this recording currently is being recorded at Workstyle.africa. These are co-working spaces within Nairobi, and the one that we're doing this live recording is currently at the address on Mudangari Drive. And I'm sure, Humphrey, you've seen some of the facilities that they have here. So let's move this conversation forward in terms, when you look at most SMEs, insurance maybe is not their biggest priority.
Yes.
What are you currently doing to change this perception?
So it will be a concerted effort to make sure that we pass this message across, because I think when SMEs start or startups, they are focusing on how to raise funds and resources to be able to run the business. So at the tail end, if something is left, then they can put it into insurance. However, that needs to change. Insurance ought to be at the forefront, because it is what will help you to your business to continue should anything go wrong. So there's need to plan. When the business plan is being put in place, ensure that you have insurance actually as part of the plan. And even as you start, the day one you get into business, ensure that you have an insurance with you, so that in the event or the unlikely event anything goes wrong, then you can still pick up and run your business.
All right, but Humphrey, there's also the aspect of, if you've been in this country long enough, which I'm sure you have,
Yes.
the biggest complaint has always been the issue of, I got this cover, I got this product, but this is not what was delivered by the insurance company.
Yes.
And insurance companies, this has actually been one of the reasons so many people shy away from wanting any kind of dealings with an insurance company.
Yes.
What have you done as Sanlam, for instance, to make sure that these kind of complaints do not come up?
Thank you for that question. Actually, yes, it has been one of the problems why the uptake is low, because I think most people don't believe that insurers will actually honor their promise.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's important to choose your insurer very properly,
Yes.
as in wisely and carefully, because if you pick the right insurer, then definitely you are in a better place than if you pick the wrong insurer. Why I'm saying that is because like in Sanlam, we believe in keeping our promise. So, and we pay claims, and actually become quite a good brand. So what I'll say, the challenge is sometimes why claims are a problem. It's different reasons. One of the reasons is maybe not understanding the kind of cover you took.
Okay.
So you need to take time to understand exactly what is it you're buying. Because sometimes the agents or someone was quick to sign you up, you didn't really know what you're signing up for. So maybe the cover you bought is not what you needed. Or maybe the other reason would be you don't know how to go about, if there's a claim, what information should you provide?
Yeah.
Both at the time you're taking cover and the time you are claiming. Because again, there's something that insurers rely on, it's called utmost good faith. So we believe what you're telling us is true, but if a claim happens, then we have to authenticate to verify that actually what you told us was true. So if it's not true, it's called a material misrepresentation, so your claim might end up not being paid. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about your claim settlement rate. What does it look like right now?
It is good. I would say it's good. I didn't come with the percentages, but we pay claims within 30 days. There is a process that is followed in claims. For example, you have a claim, you've lost a laptop. So you send us a notification, you have lost a laptop. So we write back and tell you, please provide a pro forma invoice for replacement of the same. Fill in this claim form, giving the circumstances of the loss, and then we will review it within 3 days. Then we'll give you an offer. So it depends on how quickly you document your claim sometimes. So sometimes customers take a bit of time because we'll ask for some documentation before we proceed to pay you. Then once you've documented your claim, we give you something called a discharge voucher, which is an offer of how much we are giving you. If you're happy with it, you sign, you bring, then we pay again, you give us another 5 days, we pay you the money now. So it depends on you notifying us, then we asking for the documentation, then you providing documents, then again we'll send you the offer, which will come back, and then we will pay.
And is this documentation something that I'm already informed prior to signing, or does this information come much later when something has happened and now I'm being asked for these documentations that I do not have?
Yes, in most instances, probably you've not heard of the required information. It depends on how you bought your policy, because you can buy your policy directly from the insurer, you can go through a broker, you can go through an agent, you can go through the bank. So depending on who sold the policy to you, did they or did they not explain to you the requirements at the point of a claim? So, but when you report a claim, at that point we will notify you, because I think at the point you are selling, which we should, actually the insurer should take time to provide that information to the intermediary who is selling, that we will require, notwithstanding that the requirements are the same across board. So the requirement for claims are actually standard. However, it's important that as we sell these SMEs specifically, we also include the claims process.
All right, and also let's just move this conversation forward in terms of claims, and especially for these SME products. What has been the most common thing that is being claimed?
Mostly laptops.
Okay.
Mostly laptops are the number one in terms of claims. I guess because we walk around with our laptops, we work with our laptops, we are everywhere with them, and then also they are cash cow. Maybe some people, there's a demand for it, so also the risks are higher. We carry them in our cars, they can be broken into. So it's been actually one of the main claims in SMEs.
Maybe you can take us through how then does having this cover improve my business?
Yes, it will improve your business. Number one, I'm sure we get into business most of the time so that the business can grow and become big and outlive us.
Yeah.
So it gives you that continuity. Because if something happened, there's a fire, we pay you, you can restore your business. So if you didn't have insurance, for example, and there's a fire, you might require again to go back to the drawing board to look for funds to start again. The other benefit is, of course, is cash flow. So you can imagine you lose a laptop today, you have to go look for money to replace it. You keep it for another 1 month, you lose it again. So it will affect your cash flow. So it's another reason why you need to insure. Also, there's also the legal requirement. For example, if you have staff and you have not insured them, you're required to insure them so that the payment that is due to them in the event they are injured or they die while working for you, they are compensated. So the consequences would be very grave if you do not have insurance. Other benefits would be peace of mind.
Yeah.
Imagine you have insurance, you close shop, you go home, and you can sleep peacefully, knowing that if anything happened, then you'll be compensated.
All right, your final words to entrepreneurs out there who are thinking of coming up with a business idea or starting a business. And I'm sure maybe you've touched on some of the reasons why they need to take these covers. But I want you to explain to them, why should I take a cover with Sanlam?
Great. Yes. So take cover with Sanlam Insurance because we will protect you. We will protect your business to make sure that that noble idea you had to start a business, to run a business, does not die in the event that the unexpected happens. So we want to encourage you. We want to protect your business, to work with you, to grow with you. Today you're an SME. Tomorrow you're going to become a big corporate, and we want to walk the journey with you. And that's why we'll also endeavor to make sure that we give you good service, a good experience, a good customer journey, so that you stay with us. You don't have to look for another insurer. Once you're with us, we want to keep you all through.
All right, and you've spoken like a true insurance salesperson. I think that's a good place to end it. And like we always say right here on this show, is that every hour is business hour. So stay tuned for our next episode next week, same time, same